Hey guys, Dave from Nerdarchy, for nerds by nerds, hanging out with
Nerdarchy's Ted.
And today we're going to talk about D&D Beyond. Is it a ripoff?
Jump down the description below where you can sign up for Nerdarchy the newsletter. Get weekly gaming tips as well as learn how to game with Nerdarchy.
Hey guys, we're going to be talking about D&D Beyond. The pricing list just dropped this week. There's a bunch of things that actually came out this week, but we're going to be talking about this. You can check the description, and we'll put the link there so you guys can go see it for yourself. So now let's get into it. Is it worth it? Is this a ripoff? Is it a greedy corporate money grab? What are they doing with this thing?
Well, I had seen a post online about somebody comparing the choice of making something close to like full Amazon price versus just offering it for a pittance. So it's kind of one or the other. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it.
I think I literally saw a couple pitchforks and torches online.
I don't doubt that, given the way a lot of people act on the internet.
Yeah, well, there's a couple problems here. One, if you're in the gaming space and you've already bought your books, you've got your books, you've already purchased them, yay, right? You're out $90 to $150
for just the core books.
Just the core books. But maybe you play online and maybe use a virtual tabletop like Fantasy Grounds or one of the other ones. Well, now you've bought the content twice, right? Or maybe you've actually used multiple virtual tabletops, right? You don't always use the same one, and for whatever reason you've bought it again, so that's 3 times.
Now they might be asking you to do it a fourth.
Now they might be asking you to do it a fourth.
But on the other side of this equation is the fact that, like, there were, while the other ones have license, this one I think is more of a partnership with Wizards.
It's probably still a licensing agreement. I mean, they're supporting it. It's like they support the other ones. And there's going to be some really cool features. So let's talk about this a little bit, right? One, it's a licensing agreement. We're pretty sure. We don't know what it costs Curse to even get the license. 2, there's people that have to develop this product. There's people that have to put work into it. We don't know I don't actually know what that costs or how much work is going into that. 3, there's some functionality you're going to get in D&D Beyond that you're not getting anywhere else. Literally, one of the things that Curse is doing is, I believe, Matt Mercer, and I want to say Mercer Ray, but I'm not positive on that part. They're bringing them in to do the pronunciations on all the, all those tough words like Manzabaranzan, or is it Dro or Drow? Tiefling or Tiefling.
Well, that'll be great to actually figure out, what the official things are. I mean, obviously, to me, it's Drow. Tiefling, Tiefling, I don't have an opinion on. Like, I use both of them.
Right, but anyway, they're going to do a pronunciation guide.
That's
came up. It's a thing. So the other thing is you're going to be able to, everything is searchable. So if you own all the books and you want to go, oh, Underdark, you can pull up all the information on Underdark no matter what book it's in if you own access to it, right?
I think the actual integration and search feature, I think, is going to be the biggest boon of this whole thing.
And they also talk about, like, the ability to scale monsters up and down. So that stuff is cool. And then again, like, the actual use, there is a free version of D&D Beyond. It is going to be the 5e, basically, SRD. You have access to that. You could personally take the time to upload all of the information from all of the books that you could then use, but you'd be limited on the number of characters you could create. But other than that, you could put all that stuff in there if you wanted to. So if you value your time, it might be easier just to pay to just rebuy them.
Right. Now, they are talking about bundles. So you could buy the core bundle, or you could totally just, throw caution to the wind and say, I'm going to buy the legendary bundle. You're going to get, according to the release, the best possible discount that's going to be out there for 15% off all the stuff. $279.99. You get access to all the release content.
And that discount is supposed to go forward, too. So every time you buy a new product, you'll get that discount again.
So I think that is something to consider, especially if, number one, you're going on the master tier and you have a group that doesn't like to spend money. Suppose you have access to stuff and you want everybody else to as well. I think that's a good way to actually
Well, let's get into that, because we're talking about things. Maybe we should explain what they are first.
Okay.
So you have, what are the tiers again, Ted?
So you have the hero tier, which is $2.99 a month. You get access to the SRD and then whatever content you purchase / unlock. Whether you want to buy it a la carte and just take the feats and the spells, or whether you want to go whole hog and buy the legendary bundle, or anywhere in between, you have access to that. If you go with the master tier, that's $5.99 a month, and there's discounted things whether you go with a 6-month or a 1 year. But with the master subscription, you have access to, again, all the content that you've unlocked, and you can share that with a certain number of people who are listed in your group.
Yeah, and essentially 6 months you're looking at $15 or $30. 12 months you're looking at $26 or $55. So you can save a little bit of money there if you just pay for it all at once, or you can go month to month as you choose. And like you said, you can buy the bundles, you can buy particular books, you can just buy pieces of books. And one of the cool things they are doing is, if you buy a piece of a book and then you buy another piece of a book, and then you go, you know what, I might as well just buy the book, the price is going to be subtracted from what you've already spent on that book.
And there are a bunch of like retail places that if you do that kind of thing, they're like, oh, well, here's the retail price. They don't actually give you that discount. So that's actually nice that that's incorporated.
Yeah, when I first saw it, and I saw the legendary bundle, I'm like, man, should Nerdarchy just grab the master level and grab the legendary bundle and just have everything. Ted, I think, Ted, at this point, you have all the books, right?
I do.
I do not. I have most of the books. I've got probably 75, 80% of them. There's a couple of the adventures I don't have. But, I wouldn't mind having it all digital. I really enjoyed 4th edition's digital tools, and I think it really saves a lot of time when you're DMing. For character creation, 5th edition isn't very hard to create characters, but it would still save some time.
So it depends upon, all of the interface, all of the nuances of what kind of unique content that you can put in there. If I've got the ability to click, and then print out a character sheet with full access to, custom content as well as the unlocked content, I think that's really neat, especially if it gives me the paraphrased class options as opposed to me having to shorthand everything. If I just say, oh, well, I'm playing an 8th level cleric, boom, it fills out 8th level cleric. I think that is a big time saver and worth the costs.
Okay, so there is definitely some factors though that we have to discuss and consider too. Is one, for us, is not as big a deal because we haven't invested heavily in Roll20 or Fantasy Grounds or any other virtual tabletop. So for us, it's buying it twice.
Right.
Where some people are buying it 3 times, and I can see where you'd be getting really angry about that. And also, I've also heard others say, well, when I bought it through a virtual tabletop, there was other value adds. I got all the maps that I could just import into my game, which is great. I got all the tokens that went with the game as well. So, so there was extra value adds that made it worthwhile for those GMs. But for us, since we haven't really invested heavily in virtual tabletops, we'd be going, oh, well, we're just getting it all digital now and we're paying for it. So if you're in that boat, it's not a bad deal. Or what if you're new to the hobby, you're just coming in, right now is the best time to come in, and you're thinking about buying stuff, and you're like, well, I can buy it all digitally, especially if that's how you prefer to have it, and then you wouldn't even have to worry about it. And I know some people just prefer digital over physical.
But there is one problem to that digital access. Actually, technically 2. Number 1, it does require internet access. So the dead zone that you guys call my basement, is not always going to completely fly with, oh, well, I want to get access to, but, oh.
Well, thankfully we have Wi-Fi down here, though.
Yes, there is that. But, so what if you're gaming in a place that you don't have Wi-Fi or you don't have a signal? All right, now you've got a problem because you can't access your material. The other thing... The bigger problem that, we talked about before was what happens if Curse goes bye-bye.
Right, yeah, Curse goes bye-bye, Wizards decides not to support it anymore, whatever. You've invested all these resources in this product, and the guys from Curse, they've responded to our D&D Beyond videos before, so hopefully they'll see this one and maybe they'll want to weigh in on this. What happens to my shit if you guys go away, because we know once you stop paying for servers, you stop being able to access stuff.
So it's like, all right, is there kind of fallout plan of, well, if this goes away, do we get the PDFs of what we paid for?
Yeah, some kind of backup, and that ain't going to happen because Watts does not want PDF. So far, they've showed they do not want PDFs of 5th edition out there, of their newer content out there. So, what happens in that contingency? So that's kind of a big deal.
So, I don't know. I'm actually looking forward to this. I haven't played around with a lot of digital tool resources. We've got Mutants and Masterminds behind me over here on the shelf, and I played around with Hero Lab, and I enjoyed that process of making bad guys or making good guys, your PCs. And it's like, well, I'm kind of looking forward to seeing what I can do with D&D Beyond.
Yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of good stuff in here, and it just comes down to, well, is it worth the cost of admission to you? And everyone's going to have to decide that. But either way, you guys can let us know in the comments below what you think. While you're at it, like, share, and subscribe.
You can check us out over on Facebook.
So until next time,
stay nerdy.